Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to First Responder Broadcasting and the SHN Sports Network. Georgetown Eagle Baseball coming to you live from Eagle Field here on the campus of Georgetown, Texas. It is the First Pitch Classic brought to you here in Central Texas. 8 schools around the area hosting baseball games this weekend, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And we host one of them here at Georgetown High School. And now the Eagles get ready for their first ball game today as they take on the Fort Bend Clements Rangers here for the 1 p.m. ball game. The starting lineup for the Clements varsity baseball team, the head coach is Brett Beliquet. Assistant coaches Garrett Oakley, Tim Lubohowski, Andrew Haney, and Matthew Soka. There's a lot of names on this team that are going to be difficult to say, so bear with me. Forgive me for the mistakes that are, I'm sure, to come. For the Clements baseball Rangers, they will start this way in the starting lineup. Batting first, it's shortstop, number 9, Cooper Sagelski. Batting second, the catcher, number 7, Stefano Damaris. Batting third, the left fielder, number 10, Mitchell Taylor. Batting fourth and playing third base, number 21, Fletcher Garcia. Batting fifth at first base, number 30, Rav Parikh. At batting sixth at right field, number 12, Logan Miller. Batting seventh at second base, number 4, Dante Martinez. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 23, Cash Talbot. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 22, Max Semino. The pitcher of record to start the ball game for the Rangers will be number 11, Charlie Eberst. Charlie Eberst, the starting pitcher for the Rangers of Clements High School. For the Georgetown Eagles, head coach is Jordan Vieira in his 5th year at the helm for your Eagles. 8th year on the staff here. He graduated, played baseball here at Georgetown High School, and then has returned in the current 5A champion 2022. The 5A champions, the Georgetown Eagles. Head coach Jordan Vieira goes this way with his starting lineup today against the Clements Rangers. Batting first, playing shortstop is number 6, Luke Holly. Batting second at center field is number 5, Tate Ritchie. Batting third at third base, number 21, Riley Leiniger. Batting fourth at first base, number 16, Reese Herrera. Batting fifth and catching, number 13, Reese Seaman. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 24, Justin Soto. Batting seventh in left field, number 10, Andrew Nations. Batting eighth at second base, number 4, Cord Lawrence. And batting ninth on the mound, number 20, Jack Kiki. Jack Kiki on the mound to start the ballgame for your Georgetown Eagles. Where's number 20? So the Eagles will go Holly, Ritchie, and Leiniger in the top third. Herrera, Seaman, Soto in the middle third. Nations, Lawrence, and Kiki in the bottom third. For the Rangers, Sagelski, Damaris, and Taylor in the top third. Garcia, Parikh, and Miller in the middle third. Martinez, Talbot, and Semino in the bottom third. The visitors in the ballgame, the Clements Rangers, they're in the baby blues with navy blue lettering and white bordering with the navy blue hat, the white C on the top. Your Georgetown Eagles in the white pants with the blue pinstripe on the side, and then the blue jersey with Eagles in script lettering across the front in white with the white baseball hat and the blue talon with the blue bill on the hat today for the Georgetown Eagles. Coach Vieira meets at home plate with the manager of your Georgetown Eagles, Jared Fremmel, with the coach of Clements High School, Brett Beliquet, waiting for the umpire crew. The ball game just before us ended. The South Lake Carroll Dragons defeating the Heath Hawks 7-4 in a battle there. At one point, Heath Hawks down 6-0 in that ball game. Come back to make it a ball game and have a chance there in the 7th, and then so they fall short there. And so now today, in the booth, myself, Wally Harmon, alongside Doppler Dave, Jerry Ann, my wife, who usually makes everything run smoothly, will not be here today. So understand, everything that does not run smoothly, it's Doppler Dave and myself.
It's my fault, exactly, because Jerry Ann's not here, so I'm going to try and sub in. It's tall order, Wally, because
So I did a favor. I'm going to take the scoreboard operations. Dave's going to run the computer and the cameras, and we'll call the ball game. But we'll make the best of it as Georgetown gets ready to play. Doppler Dave, nothing better than the game time forecast here at Georgetown High School.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for a dandy. It's 73 degrees, sunny, not a cloud in the sky except for a little cloud seeding out there. Now, northeast winds at 13 miles an hour going from left to right across your screen there. And 27% humidity. So beautiful spring day. It's dry air. It's cool. It feels a little cooler than yesterday with that little bit of a cool front that kind of came through. So you just can't paint a better weather forecast for this baseball tournament that Georgetown's hosting.
I was talking to Shannon, the play-by-play guy for the Heath Hawks, and we were talking about last year. Started out with sunburn on the right side and freezer burn on the left side of their face when that storm came in last year. And what a beautiful turn of events here this year, as it is all beautiful weather for this tournament. The Central Texas First Pitch Classic brought to you and sponsored by B&N Sports, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, and Easton Sports. And so one of the best tournaments you'll find around. 31 teams here in the Austin area to play baseball this weekend. The Georgetown Eagles go 1-1. Yesterday, Dave, you were here game one, a good win. The Eagles got behind 2-0 to who did we play first? I just lost it.
It was Lubbock.
We played Lubbock, Monterey, the Plainsmen.
Yeah.
Then the Eagles come back, answer with 2 there in the third, 2 more in the fourth, and then Tate Ritchie pitched 4 innings of hitless baseball to close out the ball game for the win. And then the 7 p.m. tilt last night against the 13th ranked Heath Hawks in 6A baseball in the preseason polls. Down 5-0 going to the bottom 7th. No hitter going for Landon Ammerman, the lefty for the Hawks. And Luke Hawley broke that up with an infield single, and then the bullpen came out for the Hawks, and the Eagles made a run of it, made it interesting, and lost the game 5-4. Had runners on first and second with 2 outs, and the sophomore Flowers came in and got the strikeout to end the ballgame. But what a ballgame to see this team respond to adversity this early in the season.
Yeah, I wasn't able to make the game last night. I had a cheer banquet to attend, but I went back and watched the replay, and that 7th inning was a doozy. That was super exciting to see the kids battle back, being down 5-0 in the bottom of the 7th. They rallied and rattled off 4 points and made it interesting and really made Heath go through their pitching staff in short order last night. So that was a lot of fun to watch that game. Super proud of these young men out here and what they're doing so far in this baseball tournament. So they're showing a lot of promise, and it's getting us pretty excited for this upcoming season and the road trip now 19 miles down the road. 16.2 miles away
to the Dill Diamond. Tonight the Eagles will play Corpus Christi Carroll at 7 p.m. back here at Eagle Field, so if you can come out and join us. It's not far down the road if you live anywhere near Georgetown, and I'll give you the address to make it easy. Plug it in, 2211 North Austin Avenue, Georgetown, Texas, home of your Georgetown Eagles. We're here live 1 o'clock as the Eagles go through warm-ups. Riley Leininger on third base tonight, the senior that we didn't see yesterday in the first 2 ball games. And out at third base to start today, Herrera moves out from behind the plate down to first base. And the sophomore, the only one on the roster, it'll be fun to watch how he responds today. And Jack Kiki taking the mound for the Eagles tonight. We'll look towards one of the seniors to be on the mound against Corpus Christi Carroll. We'll keep that a secret until the lineup is released, because it could change all the different things going on in this 6-game round-robin tournament that the Eagles play in, all these teams coming in. And so, but great competition across the board as the Clements Rangers get ready to go here in the top of the first. It'll be Jack Kiki to face off against the top 3 hitters, Sigelski, Damaris, and Taylor for the Rangers. The Eagles finish up their warm-ups here as Kiki on the mound here.
How about these uniforms?
Loving the Georgetown blue. I won't call them royal blue. This is Georgetown blue. And you love the hat combo this year. They went with the white hat with the blue talon claw and the blue bill, going with the white pants with the Georgetown blue stripe down the outside of the pants. And so the second combination of uniforms here today. Tomorrow, what I expect will be the all grays, the road grays that the Eagles will come out with tomorrow as well, with probably the blue hat, the new G hat today, tomorrow for the Saturday tilt.
I was out there setting up the camera, and when the last game was over between Heath and South Lake Carroll, they flipped open the garage door, and they all came out of the building over there, and I was like, oh, those are some sick unis. Oh, Kelly would be pretty excited about that.
Kelly Duvall, our partner, just landed back, got home. I just texted him a few minutes ago. Just got back from Atlantic City, New Jersey, where he was teaching a class, and so back home to celebrate. His daughter coming to town. Happy birthday to Samantha. She comes home this weekend to celebrate her birthday here with Kelly and his family. Jack Kiki on the mound. Cooper Sigelski steps in, the shortstop for the Clements Rangers. The first pitch, inside corner, called. Strike 1, and we're underway live here at Eagle Field. 0-1 the count to Cooper Sigelski. Kiki works from the first base side of the rubber. Second pitch, misses just inside. 1-1 the count now to Sigelski. Here in the top of the first, defensively for the Eagles. Nations in left, Ritchie in center, Soto in right. The infield here in just a second. Kiki gets the sign from Reese Seaman behind the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball, slap foul down the third baseline. 1-2. Now the count to Sigelski. Here in the top of the first. Infield defensively for the Eagles. Leininger at third, Holly at short, Lawrence at second, and Reese Herrera at first. Behind the plate is Reese Seaman on the mound, the sophomore. Jack Kiki, the 5'11", 160 pound. Strike three into the glove of Seaman for out number one, a strikeout for Jack Kiki to start things off here in the top of the first inning. One out. Well, I guess we'll put the one on the board. I told you, if anything's messed up, it's because my wife is not here.
Yeah.
So a foul tip into the glove for strike three. First strikeout of the ball game for Kiki and the Eagles. And that'll bring up Stefano Damaris. First pitch inside, just misses for ball one. 1-0 the count now to the catcher, Stefano Damaris. Steps in from the right side. Kiki, the right-hander, works from the first base side of the rubber. From the windup. 1-0 pitch. Just low, ball two. 2-0 now the count to Stefano Damaris. Get used to these colors tonight as the Corpus Christi Carroll Tigers also have a baby blue type color and navy blue in their color scheme out of Corpus Christi. Kiki from the windup, the 2-0 pitch. Inside part of the corner, catches the corner for a called strike. 2 balls and a strike now to Damaris. Mitchell Taylor, the left fielder, on deck. Kiki from the windup, the 2-1 pitch. Ground ball hit out to short. Luke Hawley to his right. Fields it. The throw across the diamond in time to Reese Herrera for the putout. And a beautiful play there. 6-3 on the putout for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up the the left fielder, Mitchell Taylor.
Got a little bit of wind in that microphone down there, so sorry about the wind noise.
Taylor steps in from the right side. Kiki from the windup. The first pitch inside corner just misses for ball one. 1-0 the count to the left fielder. Should Taylor extend the inning, the third baseman Fletcher Garcia waits on deck for the Rangers. Kiki from the windup. The 1-0 pitch. Ground ball hit down the third baseline right inside the bag. It'll be extra bases for Taylor. As Nations heads over to pick it up, throws it in. It's going to be a stand-up double with 2 outs. Here in the top of the first for the Rangers. Nice piece of hitting there by Mitchell Taylor, first hit of the ball game. Has him down at second base. So a 2-out double brings up Fletcher Garcia, the third baseman. Now Kiki will switch over to the stretch, works from the first base side as he moves to the stretch and comes set. A look back at second base. And the first pitch to Garcia will come after a spin towards second base. No throw. As Taylor moves back in with Holly back behind him. Hear the chatter in the crowd, Mike, between the two dugouts. Kiki comes set in the stretch again. A look back at second. The first pitch to Garcia stays just high. No, got the top half of the zone. A nice called strike one. 0-1 the count to Garcia. Take those all day long if you can get them.
Yeah.
Expand that zone. Kiki back in the stretch. A look into Seaman to get the sign. As Taylor leads off second base for the Rangers. A look back at second as Kiki comes set. The 0-1 pitch. And that hits him. And now, after 2 quick outs, 2 runners on base for the Rangers. Hit by pitch. First one of the ball game for Kiki. As runners at first and second base, and now Arav Parikh, the first baseman, steps in. With 2 outs and runners on first and second. Also bats from the right side. Kiki comes set. The first pitch, a swing and a miss by Parikh. An 0-1 count there. And Coach Vieira talked about it earlier in the week at the coaches show, the preseason kickoff, and then talking to him around the park here the last couple of days. How does this team face adversity? And you love to see it here early for the sophomore pitcher, Kiki, to see how he reacts. The 0-1 pitch, and it hits the batter. And so now the base is loaded for the Rangers here with 2 outs. 2 quick outs, a strikeout and a ground out, and then a double and 2 hit by pitch.
It wasn't just a whole lot of effort to get out of the way of that pitch either.
And they did not do anything about that. And so here in the top of the first, the Rangers have loaded the bases with 2 outs. And in steps the right fielder, number 12, Logan Miller. He steps in from the right side. Kiki back to the windup. And the first pitch to Miller. Ground ball hit out to short. Holly to his right. He'll field it. He goes to tag the runner, and it knocks it out of his glove. And Coach Vieira's going to come out of the dugout. The runner, it looked like he swiped at the glove of Holly on the tag. So we'll see if there's runner interference there. Holly has the right of way to the base path. The runner has to yield. And so Vieira going to argue that here with the field umpire, and he's going to ask for help from the home plate umpire. And so here will be a discussion on this play here, because Holly has to have he has the right of way to the baseline to make a fielding play on the baseball. So we'll see if interference was called on the runner moving to third base, which would have been Mitchell Taylor. And so the umpires will discuss this here as Coach Vieira went out to question that immediately after the ball came out of Luke Holly's glove. So the umpires will discuss. If it stands as it is, it's going to be a 1-0 lead for the Rangers. And the base is still full on that infield single. As it would have been a collision there. You can't give an error to Holly as he was fielding it when they collided. And they are going to call him out on the interference. And now the coach for the Rangers is going to argue his side with the umpires. But the fielder does have the right of way to the base path. So we're going to rule it. It's going to be runner interference on Mitchell Taylor. So he'll be ruled out. The run will not count. And after half an inning, the Clements Rangers 0, Georgetown coming up to bat. Eagle baseball continues in just a moment here on the SHN Sports Network. And we're back here live at Eagle Field. We go to the bottom of the first. The Eagles work out of a jam there thanks to the runner's interference. A whistle called on Mitchell Taylor. The ground ball hit by Logan Miller. Luke Holly has the right of way to the base path to field the ball. And as he went to field it and come up, he collides with Logan Miller. The ball pops out. Interference called there. The inning comes to an end. That's the third out on the runner's interference. And the Eagles get out of trouble with no runs given up there. No runs on one hit. 2 runners left on base. 3 runners left on base for the Rangers. And up come your Georgetown Eagles. The top of the lineup, Luke Holly, Tate Ritchie, Riley Leininger due up. In steps the right-handed hitting shortstop, Luke Holly. He's a 6'2", 180-pound junior as he steps in. From the stretch, the pitcher throws the first pitch, low and outside. Ball 1 to Luke Holly.
The Rangers kind of gave us a preview of what we're looking at here. Of course, 2 of them was hit by pitch. So if we can clean up our pitching just a little bit, we'll be all right.
Charlie Eberst on the mound. Second pitch is fouled off back toward the Georgetown Eagle dugout. Evens out the count at 1 ball and 1 strike to Luke Holly. Batting in the leadoff spot here for the Eagles in the third game of the tournament. Holly back in from the right side. Holly, if you recognize the name, also one of the defensive backs on the Georgetown Eagle varsity football team. The 1-1 pitch on the outside corner called strike 2. And now a 1 ball, 2 strike count to Luke Holly. Last night in the game against the Heath Hawks, Holly batted in the second spot for the Eagles. Moves up to the leadoff spot today here in game number 1. The 1-2 pitch, low and outside, gets past the catcher, Damaris, but that's ball 2. 2-2 now the count to the sophomore shortstop. Luke Holly back from the right side. Holly bats right, throws right. See that name a lot in the lineup card here on this season. Also one of the pitchers available to Coach Vieira and Coach Payne for this staff. The 2-2 pitch. Holly ground ball hit out between short and third. Fielded by the third baseman, Garcia. The throw across the diamond just beats Holly for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning. Holly's retired 5-3 on the putout for the first out. And that'll bring up the center fielder, number 5, Tate Ritchie, the 5'7", 160-pound junior. Bats right, throws right, steps in with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Eberst works from the stretch, middle of the rubber, as he comes set for the first pitch to Tate Ritchie. Ritchie sends this one into right field. It's going to hold up and be caught there by Miller for out number 2. A nice shot there by Ritchie, L9 in the book for out number 2. And that'll bring up Riley Leininger with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. You love the early contact, Dave, swinging on a good first pitch, sending it into action, but the ball just held there.
Start swinging. Just, let's see what we can get going here. And it's early in the game, and let's let the bats go.
Riley Leininger steps in for his first at-bat of the regular season. 6'2", 220-pound senior committed to the University of Oklahoma. Throws right, bats left. First pitch, he'll take it just high for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Riley Leininger. Playing third base here in game number 1 in the 3 slot. On deck, Reese Herrera, the first baseman, waits should Leininger be able to extend the inning. Ebers comes set from the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. Just misses Leininger, 2-0 the count.
He's every bit of 6'2", Wally. He might be pushing 6'3". He's not a tiny person.
Leininger has grown. We've been able to watch him over the last 3 years, though one of the only sophomores on the team in the 22 championship season. Leininger lays off and takes this one for a called strike, 2 balls and a strike. And we talked to him on that preseason coaches show about how that felt as one of the seniors on this team, but one of the guys that wore the jersey in his sophomore year. Not many sophomores get the chance. And the 2-1 pitch, Leininger fouls it off back to the screen. And now the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Leininger talked about how the players taught him early on in his career, and now he's treasured that role to share and to pass on the legacy of the G here in his senior season. And so fun to watch as Leininger steps back in. The 2-2 pitch will hit him. And so Eberst returns in kind by hitting the 2-out batter to give the Georgetown Eagles a base runner here in the top of the first, or bottom of the first. And that'll bring up Reese Herrera. Reese Herrera, the first baseman here in the first game of the day for the Eagles. He's the 6'1", 190-pound senior. Catcher first baseman, bats right, throws right, steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Leininger takes the lead off as Parikh holds him on there at first base. The first pitch, Herrera lays off, takes it high on the high side of the zone for a called strike. So you see the consistency there, Dave. That's what you want to see in baseball.
Yeah. That outside corner is definitely in play.
You want to see it bottom of the inning, top of the inning, both pitchers get in the same zone. And now the 0-1 pitch to Herrera. He'll take it down the third baseline, but foul. Coach Vieira, look at that. Reached out and felt it. He points up here. He knows I'm talking about it. We talked about it during the Heath Hawks game. It's so an 0-2 count to Reese Herrera. Herrera steps back in. Ebers to look over at first base. Now will come set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch, breaking pitch, fouled off back to the screen. And Reese Herrera battles to stay alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes. But you love to see that. Extra pitches coming out of the arm of Eberst early in the inning. You want to get to see more pitches for these batters to see, to recognize and be ready as they come up behind the next man up. And so Herrera back in. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 0-2 pitch. Herrera sends it into right center field. Miller, the right fielder, drifts over to his right, and he'll be able to settle under it and make the catch for out number 3. F9 in the book to retire Herrera and the Eagles here in the top of the first. No runs on no hits. No errors and 1 runner left on after 1 complete. Clements 0, Georgetown 0. We return in just a minute here on the SHN Sports Network. We come back to Eagle Field here in the top of the second inning as Kiki finishes up his warm-up pitches. And Herrera throws it down for the Clements Rangers. They will bring up to bat the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Dante Martinez, Cash Talbot, and Max Semino here in the top of the second inning. 14 pitches thrown in the first inning by Jack Kiki. In his first inning of work, he allowed 1 hit, struck out 1, hit 2 batters, but got out of the inning without any damage. And now faces off against the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Martinez steps in, the second baseman from the right side. The first pitch from Kiki. Ground ball hit down the third baseline, and it's foul. So the count, no balls and 1 strike to Martinez. Kiki, the only sophomore listed on the Georgetown Eagle roster, 5'11", 160 pounds, infield and pitcher, played third base last night against the Hawks. Now on the mound here, the 0-1 pitch to Martinez. Fly ball sent into right field. Justin Soto will give chase towards the line, and he'll make the catch on the run for out number 1. F9 in the book to retire Martinez. And that'll bring up Cash Talbot, the designated hitter for the Rangers. Talbot steps in from the right side. So at this point, the Clements Rangers lineup is all right-handed hitters. So you'll see, I would assume the bullpen for Georgetown will stay right-handed today to keep the righty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Talbot on the top half of the zone is called a strike. 0-1 to count now. Kiki from the windup, the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So Jack Kiki ahead in the count.
Yeah, he's a little behind on that pitch. That pitch had some heat behind it and couldn't catch up with it.
Kiki from the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Stays high in the zone for a ball. Try to get Talbot to chase there. He doesn't take it. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out here in the top of the second. The base is empty. A beautiful day for baseball. If you want to check out a work, you need a sick note, just call us. We'll text it out. 1-2. Come watch these Eagles play. This one sails high. 2-2 the count now. To Cash Talbot. Count evens up. Contact our Department of IT, Kelly Duvall, for all sick notes. Come join us out here at the ballpark. The 2-2 pitch from Kiki. Inside, and it hits him. The third hit batter by Jack Kiki. Puts a base runner on for the Rangers here in the top of the second inning. That'll bring up Max Semino, the center fielder. He'll step in from the right side, the number 9 hitter in the Ranger lineup. The runner at first base with 1 out. Here in the top of the second inning, Jack Kiki, the right-handed sophomore, will move to the stretch. As Talbot leads off first base, held on by Herrera. Kiki look over, now comes set in the stretch. Semino in the right side box, ready to go. The first pitch to Semino. Swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 to count. On deck, Cooper Segelski, the shortstop for the Rangers. Eagles defense would love a ground ball here to try to turn a double play and get out of the inning. Kiki comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch turns the bunt but takes it high for a called ball. 1-1 to count to Max Semino. Center fielder, so you expect a lot of speed there, even in the number 9 hole for the center fielder. If you're going to put him out there to roam the prairie lands, got to have some speed. And so the number 9 hitter, Semino, squares the bunt there. Now the 1-1 count. Kiki comes set. The 1-1 pitch. The runner's off. The pitch is high. Throw down from Seaman right on the bag, but gets past Holly, backed up by Cord Lawrence there. It'll be a stolen base. Now the Rangers had a runner in scoring position here in the top of the second.
That's thanks to hit by pitch too, and then a stolen base. So, these are things we're doing to ourselves that we need to kind of clean up a little bit.
2 balls, 1 strike. Runner on second with 2 outs. Kiki stays in the stretch, comes set. Takes a look back at the second base. The 2-1 pitch. Semino squares the bunt. The ball's out in front of the mound. Kiki fields it. The throw to first. Bang, bang, just in time. And Semino retired at first base. What a play there by Jack Kiki to cover off the mound and make the throw just in time for out number 2.
Well done. That was quick and good communication between the pitcher and the catcher. The catcher had his hands up saying, hey, I'm going to stay away from it. You got it.
And that'll move the runner, Talbot, up to third base on that bunt attempt. We'll clear the count, move the runner to third, and now 2 outs. The first pitch Sikelski is low for ball one.
Good job covering that ball, making sure it was kind of a low pitch in the dirt. The catcher got down there and made sure it didn't get past him.
Kiki back from the windup. The 1-0 pitch to Sikelski. Off-speed pitch there, in for called strike one. 1-1 now the count. Sikelski 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Struck out swinging for the first out of the ballgame in the top of the first. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at third. Kiki from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Fouled off, just out of play over the first base dugout for strike 2. And now Kiki ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sikelski. Oops, got to move that runner up to third base. So a runner on third with 2 outs. Kiki in control of the at-bat here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sikelski back in, ready to go. Kiki from the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Low and outside. Great job by Reese Seaman. Go down and block that. Like you said, Dave, you want to see all of that from your catchers. And the good thing in these tournaments, you've seen 3 catchers behind the plate for Georgetown in 3 games, and you love to see that work here.
Right.
For Reese Seaman is one of the catchers on this team. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball just misses inside, and the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Cooper Sikelski. With the runner, Cash Talbot, just 90 feet away. 2 outs here in the top of the second. Kiki with the look in. From the windup, the payoff pitch. Line drive sent into center field. Tate Ritchie on the run. He's not going to get to it. And then it bounces under him. He can't handle it. And it's going to send Sikelski all the way around. And it's going to be a stand-up triple. Actually, it's going to be a single with a 2-base error is what that's going to come out to be. A whistle and error on Tate Ritchie. Had a chance to field it off the bounce. It didn't make the play. But an RBI single on a 2-base error gets all the way to third base, and the Rangers take the first lead of the ball game. 1-0 here in the top of the second, and in steps Stefano Damaris. He's 0 for 1, grounded out to shortstop Holly in the first. First pitch, ground ball, slap foul, just foul down the third base bag. 0-1 the count. Now to Damaris. So a big mistake early here for the Eagles. Plates a run and puts a runner just 90 feet away with 2 outs. The 0-1 pitch. Off-speed pitch. Just missed a corner.
Yep.
Tough call there.
Just missed the range of the corner.
Yeah. 1-1. Now the count to Stefano Damaris. Kiki from the windup. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball sent into right field. Justin Soto backs up, settles under it, makes the catch for out number 3. But not before the Clements Rangers are able to put 1 run across. 1 run across on 1 hit. 1 error and 1 runner left on base after an inning and a half. Clements leads it 1-0. Georgetown coming up here in the bottom of the second. Come back here to the bottom of the second inning. The Georgetown Eagles trail it 1-0. Coach David Durrell heads down to first base coach's box. Coach Jordan Vieira out in the third base box. The Eagles will bring up the 4, 5, and 6 hitters here. Correction, the 5, 6, and 7 hitters here. In the bottom of the second, Seaman, Soto, and Nations. Reese Seaman will step in from the left side, the catcher. Will lead it off here against Eberst. Eberst from the stretch, the first pitch to Seaman. It's in there for a called strike. No balls, 1 strike to Reese Seaman in his first plate appearance of the ball game. Eberst comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Seaman. Inside corner, called strike 2. Eberst works the head in the count. No balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff batter, Reese Seaman. He'll choke up now. Back to the box, ready to go. Eberst comes set, the 0-2 pitch. That one down in the turf. Nice scoop by the catcher, Damaris. 1-2 the count now.
Good eye, staying alive.
Seaman back in from the left side. Eberst gets the sign, comes set, the 1-2 pitch. That one low and outside, ball 2. Count evens up now at 2 apiece.
Trying to get him to chase it way out there.
Reese Seaman did a great job there laying off, and now 2-2 pitch count for Seaman. As he gets back in from the left side, Eberst gets the sign. Eberst comes set, the 2-2 pitch. Foul tip into the dirt. So good job there by Seaman to stay alive to battle off that pitch. Catcher Damaris unable to hold on to it. So Seaman gets another opportunity here with 2 strikes. As he leads off the bottom of the second. 1 across to the top of the second for the Rangers. They lead it 1-0. The 2-2 pitch. Seaman will chase it and go down swinging for out number 1. First strikeout for the pitcher, Eberst.
Eagles, Justin Soto.
And that'll bring up the right fielder, number 24, Justin Soto. Soto, the 5'10", 170-pound junior. Bats right, throws right, steps in for the right side with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Eberst comes set, the first pitch to Soto. He'll lay off and take it low and outside, ball 1. Andrew Nations, the lefty. Hitting left fielder, step on deck. Soto back in. Eberst, the 1-0 pitch. Low and outside. It skips in there for ball 2. I'll get that corrected here in a minute. Now that my wife's gone, I figured it out. 2-0 the count to Justin Soto. 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Eberst comes set, the 2-0 pitch. Right down Main Street for a called strike. 2-1 now the count to the right fielder, Justin Soto. Beautiful day for baseball.
Absolutely.
What a beautiful backdrop here in Georgetown, Texas. The 2-1 pitch. Soto lays off and takes it just high. And that'll be a 3-1 count now for Justin Soto. A hitter's pitch, Dave. You'd love to see your right fielder set up on this one. We're looking for that 1 pitch in the box.
Aim towards that 385 sign out there.
Eberst comes set, the 3-1 pitch. Up and in, just misses him. And they're going to call it a hit by pitch. So that'll be the second batter hit by a pitch by Eberst.
3-2.
Exactly. Tally the hit by pitch count.
Well,
Now the Eagles have a base runner in Justin Soto with 1 out. And I like the question from the coach. He wasn't over the plate, was he? It doesn't matter. It was a ball if it didn't hit him, and so it'd have been a baseball and balls this way for statistical purposes.
Sure.
It's a hit by pitch for Eberst, and that'll bring up the left-handed hitting left fielder Andrew Nations. 6'2", 190-pound senior steps in for the left side with the runner on first and 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Soto leads off first, being held on by Parikh. Nations hits it into right field between first and second. Soto up to second base, but he'll be held there. So the Eagles will have base runners on first and second now. A first pitch swinging, and the senior Andrew Nations puts it into play for the first hit of the ball game for the Eagles.
well done.
And now runners on first and second with 1 out here in the bottom of the second, and up steps Cord Lawrence, the second baseman.
Now we're getting some things moving. This looks more like EF&D baseball.
Absolutely. Nation's one of the senior leaders here on this team. Nice piece of hitting there. Saw the first pitch he wanted, drove it into right field. That ground ball got through as Parikh was holding on the runner Soto.
Cord Lawrence.
So Cord Lawrence will step in here with one out. The runner's on first and second. Lawrence, the second baseman. 5'9", 155-pound senior, bats from the right side. Ebers comes set, the first pitch. Lawrence, ground ball out towards third. A chopper fielded by the third baseman. The throw across the diamond in time to retire Lawrence for the second out, but he moves the runners both up into scoring position. 5-3 on the put out of Lawrence. Nice play there by Garcia, the third baseman, to field it on the run and make the good throw for the out. And now the Eagles have runners on first or second and third with two outs. And in steps the number 9 hitter. It's the pitcher, Jack Kiki, an opportunity to help himself here now.
Mm-hmm.
The first pitch from Ebers stays high, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Jack Kiki, the pitcher for your Georgetown Eagles. 5'11", 160-pound. He bats from the right side as well. Number 9 hitter in the lineup today for the Eagles. Ebers comes set from the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Kiki sends it back up the middle. The second baseman ranges to the right, fields it. The throw to first, down in the dirt, but a scoop there by Parikh for the third out. What a play by the first baseman, Parikh. And that'll retire the Eagles here in the bottom of the second. No runs on one hit. No errors and 2 runners left on after 2 complete innings. 1-0. Clements leads it over Georgetown. We return in just a moment here on the SHN Sports Network.
That's
back here at Eagle Field. We go to the top of the third inning. Fort Bend Clements Rangers 1, Georgetown Eagles 0. Jack Kiki back on the mound for his third inning of work. 34 pitches through 2 innings. He's given up 2 hits, struck out 1, allowed 1 run, hit 3 batters as Kiki goes to work here in the top of the third. And he'll be facing off against the 3, 4, and 5 hitters. First pitch popped up by Mitchell Taylor down the first baseline, but it will drift just out of play for strike number 1. So 0-1 count here to Mitchell Taylor. Taylor 1 for 1 in the ball game. He doubled back in the first inning, but was called for the runner's interference for the final out of the inning. Steps back in, 0-1 to count. Kiki delivers. Inside corner, called strike 2. So Kiki ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes to the left fielder, Mitchell Taylor. Taylor, Garcia, and Parikh due up here in the top of the third for the Rangers. The 0-2 pitch stays high, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to the number 3 hitter in the lineup, Mitchell Taylor, the left fielder for the Clements Rangers. Out of Fort Bend ISD. Kiki from the windup, the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball fouled off down the third baseline. Nice play there by the Fort Bend coach to fill that one. Count stays 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mitchell Taylor. 14 pitches in the first inning, 20 in the second for Kiki. 34 overall in the first 2 innings as he works from the windup. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch in there, called strike 3. What a pitch from the sophomore Kiki. Taylor bailed out.
He ducked. That's incredible.
Beautiful pitch there by Kiki. One out here in the top of the third now on the the second strikeout.
The bat, first baseman Fletcher Garcia.
Fletcher Garcia, the first baseman, steps in for his second appearance at the plate. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Squares the bunt, bunts it out in front of the mound. Kiki fields it to his right. The throw across the diamond, up the line, away from Herrera. So an E1 there will allow Garcia to reach base. A good throw would have got him. So Garcia reaches on the error, the second of the ball game for the Eagles. So E1 there puts Garza on first base with one out here in the top of the third, and that brings up the first baseman, Arav Parikh. He was 0 for 0 as well, as he was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Garcia leads off first, held on by Herrera. Kiki from the stretch. The first pitch, Parikh squares the bunt. I don't know how you call that a hit by pitch. That ball never moved. It came high and inside. The home plate umpire calls it a hit by pitch. That's going to be fourth of the game by Kiki. Now runners on first and second. One out here in the top of the third. So the Clements Rangers putting a lot of pressure on here. Garcia up to second. Parikh to first on the hit by pitch. In steps Logan Miller, the right fielder. First pitch from Kiki hits him. That's his fifth at bat hit by pitch. So we'll see what goes on here. And here comes pitching coach Chad Payne out of the dugout to go visit with Kiki as Logan Miller loads it up after being hit by the pitch. Quick timeout. We'll take it with him. Eagle baseball continues in just a moment. Back out of the timeout. A visit from pitching coach Chad Payne as Kiki stays in the ball game on the mound for the Eagles. Bases loaded with one out here in the top of the third after Garcia reached on an error and two batters hit by a pitch. The first pitch up over the head of the batter, Dante Martinez. 1-0 the count to Martinez. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to right field in the second inning. Steps in here with the bases loaded and one out. Clements Rangers trying to put more runs on the board. They lead it 1-0. Corners are in for the Eagles. Leininger at third. Herrera at first. The 1-0 pitch stays high. Ball 2. 2-0 the count here to Dante Martinez. And you wonder at what point does this affect the pitcher Kiki and the frustrations mentally, that pressure you put on yourself as the sophomore works through it here. 2-0 the count to Martinez. The 2-0 pitch, ground ball out to second. Cord Lawrence up with it to short for one. Holly to first in time. 4-6-3 double play. Oh, baby, what a job. The Eagle defense gets their pitcher out of trouble here with the bases loaded and one out. No runs across the board. 1-0. The score remains. Clements leads it. And we go to the bottom of the third. Eagle baseball continues in just a moment. And we go to the bottom of the third inning. Luke Holly leads it off. The 1, 2, and 3 hitters due up here at the bottom of the third for the Eagles. Holly, Ritchie, and Leininger as Ebers works from the stretch here in the bottom of the third. The first pitch to Holly, swinging, pop fly. Shallow into the outfield. The second baseman now, the wind's going to kill it. And he makes the catch over his head about 4 steps back into the grass. Martinez makes the catch. So 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. It'll be a F4 in the book to retire Holly for the first out. And in steps number 5, Tate Ritchie. Ritchie steps in for the right side. He's 0 for 1 of the ball game. Hit a line drive to right fielder Miller as it stayed up the whole time. Nice shot, but he steps in here 0 for 1. First pitch misses outside, ball 1 to the center fielder Tate Ritchie. Want to know the count. Ritchie back in from the right side. Ebers gets the sign, the 1-0 pitch. Stays inside, ball 2. 2-0 the count now. Leininger on deck. Reese Herrera in the hole for the Eagles here in the bottom of the third. Ebers comes set, the 2-0 pitch. Stays just high, ball 3. Some people like that one, some people didn't. Dave, you referenced it there in the break. A 4-6-3 double play there for the Eagles. Huge there. Gets the Eagles out of what you call, I think it's called the Jim Jam?
Jim Jam, yeah. Got him out of a Jim Jam.
Tate Ritchie steps out here. He'll reset. Ebers will step off. But you love it. Your defense picks you up when you're struggling there. That's got to boost the confidence of Kiki there, getting out of that trouble with no runs given up. The 3-0 pitch stays high. Oh, wow. The same pitch that was called ball 3 is called strike 1 on Tate Ritchie as he took off down the baseline. He'll have to come back. The count now 3-1 to the center fielder, Tate Ritchie. Ritchie steps in from the right side. Back of the box. Ebers comes set. The 3-1 pitch. Outside corner called strike 2. Now a full count to Tate Ritchie with 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Fort Bend Clements Rangers 1. Georgetown Eagles nothing. The Eagles bat here in the bottom of the third. Ebers comes set. The payoff pitch. Slap foul down the first baseline, out of play. So Tate Ritchie stays alive in the at-bat. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 30 pitches thrown through 2 innings for Ebers. 15 in the first, 15 in the second. Through 2 innings, he had allowed 1 hit, struck out 1, hit 2 batters. Back from the stretch, he comes set. The payoff pitch to Ritchie. Ritchie pops it up, back out of play down the first baseline. Stark difference here between the at-bat for Holly to lead off the inning. First pitch swinging, pops it up for an out. Now Ritchie, 7 pitches into the at-bat against Ebers. The full count here.
Battling.
Exactly right. Ritchie battling with Ebers. The payoff pitch. High for ball 4, and he drew a walk. That's a quality A-B right there for Tate Ritchie. And now the Eagles have a base runner here in the bottom of the third. And in steps Riley Leininger. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Correction, he is 0 for 0. He was the one of the players hit by a pitch for the Eagles. He'll step in here with 1 out and a runner at first. Leininger hits from the left side, steps back in here as Ebers comes set from the stretch. Leininger moves up, squares the bunt, a throw over to first, and I tell you what, Rob Parikh is making his defense look really good by the scoops he's making over at first base.
Yeah.
Because that one skipped about 5 feet short at first base on the pickoff attempt, and Parikh scooped it out. Otherwise, that was headed down the first baseline, and Tate Ritchie was off to the races. Leininger scoots forward. The bunt attempt, pulls it back, and takes it on the outside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to count to Leininger.
We really enjoy being able to bring you a 3-camera angle, and having that first base is fun to catch that action at first base, and then this outfield camera that we're able to bring you that angle to see right down the, just like you might see in the college and MLB. We're trying to bring all those angles to you.
Leininger, a big swing, pop up right side into shallow right field. Ritchie about halfway. The right fielder Miller ranges in. He can't make the catch. Ritchie turned to go back to first base, but he'll be gunned down at second base, and you're kind of in no man's land there. Miller drops it, but he's able to throw it to force the out at second base, so it'll be 9-6 on the putout of Ritchie. Leininger will reach first base.
Yeah, you have to be probably 50-50 and just move very quickly to the other base. It's just.
And now Reese Herrera will step in. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Flew out to right field back in the first inning. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at first. The first pitch, Herrera hits it out towards short. Sigelski up with it. Flips to the second baseman Martinez for the out. The force out, the third out in Leininger. And after 3 complete innings, Georgetown trails it by 1. No runs on no hits. 1 error and 1 runner left on base. After 3 complete innings, Clements 1, Georgetown nothing. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Back here live, Eagle Field. We go to the top of the 4th, and I've got to get it all settled out here on the thing. My wife's gone. I told you. Mistakes, it's all our fault. It's me and Dave. No outs and no runners on. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Kiki on to work for inning number 4 for the Eagles, and he'll face off. His first pitch, swing and a miss for Cash Talbot, the designated hitter. The 9-1 or the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due up here in the top of the 4th for the Clements Rangers. Kiki from the windup. The 0-1 pitch to Talbot. Line drive set out in the right center field. That's going to be a base hit. Over to cut it off is Soto, and he'll get it in. That'll hold Talbot to a leadoff single. Just the 3rd hit of the ball game for the Rangers, but it has the leadoff man aboard here in the top of the 4th inning, and that'll bring up Max Semino. Here in the top of the 4th, he's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Grounded out to the pitcher on a bunt attempt. Kiki fielded it and made a great throw to first on a bang-bang play to get him out. And Semino steps in here with no outs and a runner at first. Kiki from the stretch. The first pitch, Semino squares again. Bunts it into the batter's box on the left side for a foul ball, strike 1. So 0-1 to count to Semino. But like I said in the first time he came up, you know the center fielder has speed. So that's the 2nd time in a row you've seen the center fielder in the 9 slot try to lay down a bunt. Mm-hmm. So you got to watch for that here. Leininger playing in about 4 steps on the grass at third base, expecting a bunt here from Max Semino. Kiki will throw over to first, and Talbot dives back in safely. Good job by Herrera there to go get that errant throw. Keep it from going up the first baseline. 0-1 the count to Semino with no outs and a runner at first here in the top of the 4th for the Rangers. Kiki comes set in the stretch. Throw over to first again. Talbot dives back in. Kiki just turned into it.
I'd love to see a fake throwback.
And last night, I'll talk to you about that here in just a minute. An opportunity for Georgetown. It could have played out, and it ended up costing the Hawks. This pitch up and in for ball 1 as Semino pulls the bat back. one of the players kept pushing that issue, and he would get up quickly, come off the bag, and we talked about it. And sure enough, that very next play, the pickoff attempt was successful. The runner just kept taking such a big lead and kind of just pushing that issue. That was a great job by this pitching staff, the first baseman, the communication there between the pitchers and their first baseman. Kiki comes set, the 1-1 pitch to Cimino. Swinging, hits it down the first baseline, but foul. And now Kiki ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the number 9 hitter, Max Cimino, the center fielder. No outs, a runner at first here at the top of the 4th. Every inning of this ball game, the Rangers have had a man on base. And no different here as they get the leadoff man aboard on a leadoff single. Cash Talbot, he leads off first, being held on by Reese Herrera. Kiki comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch, outside corner, called strike 3. What a beautiful strikeout, the 3rd of the ball game for Jack Kiki. And Cimino sat down on strikes for out number 1. Beautiful pitch there by the sophomore Kiki. And now we'll bring up the top of the lineup, Cooper Cegelski. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. Strikeout in the first, a single, and left stranded in the second. Kiki comes set. The first pitch to Cegelski as the runner's off. Ground ball hit down the third baseline, pulled foul. And so a strike 1 on Cegelski. And Talbot will have to return to first base. Here in the top of the 4th, Georgetown will play again 7 p.m. tonight. Another good one is Corpus Christi Carroll, the Tigers. Will play your Georgetown Eagles at 7 p.m. And then tomorrow, 2 p.m. and 4:30, the last 2 ball games of the First Pitch Classic. Georgetown will play Little Elm and San Antonio Johnson, and 2 6A teams there on the Saturday tilt. Kiki, the 0-1 pitch, and a fly ball sent down the left field line, and it is going to go out of fair territory into foul territory. No chance there for Andrew Nations to get over to it. And so now, Kiki way ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes to Cooper Cegelski, the shortstop. Stefano Damaris waits on deck for the Rangers. Cegelski back in for the right side. Kiki a look at first, now a throw over, and Talbot dives back in. Safely ahead of the sweep tag by Reese Herrera. Kiki gets ready. Look at first, now comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch to Cegelski. Will come in just a second. He throws over to first again. Talbot dives back in safely. I tell you what, after the last 2 years of this tournament, I can't believe how beautiful it is, Dave. We talk about it, how beautiful it is out here. 2 years ago, the year of the state title, the tournament was canceled because of icy weather, freezing temperatures. Last year, the cold front came in, and this year, just pristine baseball condition as the 0-2 pitch sails high for ball 1.
We've really been blessed with some really nice weather this fall, this winter. We had one little cold snap there, and that's about it. And it started warming up, and the trees are all blooming out already. Some people call it the false spring, but I think it's settling in now.
I hope, because calling games on the road out in the elements, I hope
it
gets some warm temperatures. Kiki comes set, and now he'll step off and reset. 1-2 the count to Cooper Cegelski with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Cash Talbot led off the inning with a leadoff single, but then the strikeout of Cimino brings up Cegelski, and we sit here at the top of the 4th. Kiki comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch, Talbot off and running, the pitch down in the turf. Seaman saves it. Kind of a awkward slide by Cimino, or Talbot out there at second base, but his second stolen base of the ball game. Has a runner at second base now with 1 out. 2-2 the count to Cooper Cegelski. Kiki comes set in the stretch, takes a peek back at second base. Now the 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit back up in the middle into center field, a base hit. Here comes Cash Talbot. He's been waved around. Tate Ritchie comes up and throws the throw all the way to the home. It's going to allow Cegelski to move up to second base. A chance there for Herrera to cut it off, but he was given the let it go and unable to get the runner at home. And so an RBI single by Cegelski gives the Rangers a 2-0 lead now here in the top of the 4th. And on the throw home, Cegelski moves up to second base. His second hit of the ball game. Zagelski now against Stefano Damaris. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Kiki will step off. Kiki here on his 4th inning of work. His first start of the season here in game number 3. Facing some adversity, so let's see how he responds. Zagelski leads off second. Damaris in from the right side. Kiki comes set, looks back at second base. And now the first pitch here. Damaris takes it low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out here in the top of the 4th. The Rangers lead it 2-0. Kiki will come set in the stretch. The 1-0 pitch, low and outside, ball 2. 2-0 now the count to Stefano Damaris with Mitchell Taylor, the left fielder, on deck for the Clements Rangers. Thought we did a good job here with the cameras today, Dave. 3 different color schemes that we've got up going. The outfield camera coming in from sun to the shade.
Yeah.
The full field camera coming from the shade to the sun. And so it just a lot of different looks here as the 2-0 pitch sells high for ball 3. 3-0 now the count to Stefano Damaris, the catcher for the Rangers. But nonetheless, it is a beautiful day, beautiful field here at Georgetown High School. Eagle Field, one of the top facilities in the area and the state. Kiki will come set. 3-0 the count, the 3-0 pitch. Low and outside, ball 4.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, the infield is, artificial turf, including the what looks like dirt. And then you can kind of see it in this view. You can see in the outfield there where it switches over to natural grass, natural turf. And Coach Vieira just has done an amazing job in the offseason getting this grass prepared. And he was out there mowing, and it just looks beautiful out here.
Great facilities here at Georgetown. The maintenance team has done a good job to help him. A lot of money and time and effort went into making this field the way it is. And so beautiful facilities here at Eagle Field. 323 down the lines, 385 to the power alleys. About 400 dead straightaway center field to the batter's eye. Kiki will come set. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The first pitch, outside corner, called strike 1 on Mitchell Taylor, the left fielder. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game. 0-1 the count here to Mitchell Taylor. Doubled in the first inning. Struck out looking in the third. 1 for 2 in the ball game. As the Clements Rangers threaten again here in the top of the 4th with runners on first and second and 1 out. Both runners running. The pitch low and away. Seaman couldn't get a good handle on it. And so a double still there. Now has the base runners both in scoring position with 1 out.
It's early. People haven't got their slides down just yet. He bounced about 3 or 4 feet before the base. I shouldn't laugh. You don't want to see me out there trying to slide. So
1-1 count to Mitchell Taylor. Runners on second and third. Ground ball hit up the middle. Cord Lawrence lays out, makes the play over to first in time. Reese Herrera got back on the bag, but the field umpire, not having any kind of angle for it, calls him safe. So Herrera kind of hesitated getting back to the bag there. Cord Lawrence made a great play to lay out for it, but that'll cost the Eagles another run. Now runners on the corners. 3-0 the score.
So expect that runner on first base to probably switch over, and we might see a pitching change here, Wally.
And here comes Coach Vieira, and that is the signal of going to the bullpen. The call to the bullpen will come to you in just a minute here on the SHN Sports Network. back here live at Eagle Field. Called to the bullpen for your Georgetown Eagles, now on the mound. The 6'2", 180-pound junior throws the right-handed thrower. Colton Crutchfield comes into the ball game with 1 out. Here in the top of the fourth, 3-0. The Fort Bend Clements Rangers lead it over your Georgetown Eagles 3-0. 2 runs here in the top of the third. And he'll inherit base runners at first and third with 1 out. And he'll face off against Fletcher Garcia, the third baseman for the Rangers. If I have it correctly, they're going to rule that Herrera wouldn't ever touch the base. An error there on Herrera that allowed Taylor to reach, and now runners on the corners. Taylor was out, and he still would have scored that run as Sogalski from third, so an RBI there for him. And now a throw over to first is no good. They'll throw home the bunt down the first baseline, and it's into no man's land. Lawrence will catch, flip to first in time. But a sac bunt there laid down will score the runner from third. So Damaris scores the 4th run of the ball game. And now a runner up at second base with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. So a good job there by Fletcher Garcia. Great play by Cord Lawrence to fill that bunt in no man's land. 4-3 on the putout. But an RBI sacrifice punt. Scores Damaris, and now in steps Arav Parikh. First pitch from Crutchfield, called strike 1. 0-1 to count now to Parikh.
I appreciate the strike, but wow. Oh, my gosh. That strike zone it's big.
The 0-1 pitch to Parikh, outside and low for ball 1. 1-1 to count. Parikh 0 for 0 in the ball game as he steps in for his 3rd plate appearance of the ball game. He was hit by a pitch in the first, and if that wasn't enough, he was hit by a pitch in the third. Both innings, he was left stranded on base as he steps in here with 2 outs and a runner at second. The 1-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Now Crutchfield ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. With 2 outs here in the top of the 4th, a 4-run lead for the Rangers of Clements High School out of the Fort Bend ISD. Your Eagles looking to get out of the inning here. This one skips in about 2 feet short. Great play there by the catcher, Reese Seaman, to keep that in front of him. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. To the big first baseman, Arav Parikh. Logan Miller, the right fielder, on deck for the Rangers. The 2-2 pitch, fly ball. Nope. That is such a neat thing. It looks like it's going out and bounces off the screen. Fouled off, back off the screen. And Parikh stays alive in the at-bat, 2-2. Colton Crutchfield, after 3 1/3 inning of work by Jack Kiki, takes over for your Eagles. A look back at second, the 2-2 pitch, low and outside. It gets past Seaman, went off his glove, back to the backstop, and that allows the runner to move up 90 feet to third base. And the count goes full now on Parikh. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that pass ball moves Mitchell Taylor up to third base. Crutchfield will stay in the stretch here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at third base. The payoff pitch. Up and away, ball 4. Crutchfield walks his first batter. Now runners on first and second.
Coming to bat, right fielder Logan Miller.
Logan Miller steps in. Runners on the corners, first and third base. With 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. The Eagles would love to get out of trouble here with no more runs put across. 3 runs already in the inning for a 4-0 lead for the Rangers. Crutchfield's first pitch, ground ball up the middle. Crutchfield fields it. He'll turn towards first base, throw it over to Herrera for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Rangers are retired here in the top of the 4th, but not before they pick up 3 runs. They're going to get it on 2 hits, 2 errors, and have 2 runners left on base. After 3.5 innings, it's 4-0. Fort Bend Clements leads it over your Georgetown Eagles. We'll be back with more baseball in just a moment. go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Reese Seaman will lead it off for your Eagles. Steps in for the left side. Eber's first pitch fouled off, back out of play down the third baseline for strike one. Seaman in the ball game, 0 for 1. Struck out swinging back in the second inning. 0-1 to count now to the junior catcher. Back in for the left side. Ebers works from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch misses outside for ball one. 1-1 now the count to the junior catcher, Reese Seaman. The 1-1 pitch. Seaman hits it into center field, and that'll be a leadoff base hit for the junior catcher, Reese Seaman. Just the second hit of the ball game for your Georgetown Eagles. Good piece of hitting there by Reese Seaman. The leadoff man aboard, and in steps Justin Soto. Here comes a courtesy runner for the Eagles. Catcher Seaman. Running for him will be number 17, Devin Peterson. In steps the right fielder, Justin Soto. He's 0 for 0 in the ballgame. Was hit by a pitch in the second inning. As he steps in here with no outs and a runner at first base. So the Eagle offense trying to make some noise here in the bottom of the fourth to respond to the 4 spot on top of the board for the Rangers. 1 in the second, 3 in the fourth to take a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, it's time. Let's get these bats going.
Third baseman Garcia in on the grass. Throw over to first base. Peterson dives back in safely there at first. And Parikh, another good scoop as the throw over from Eberst was in the turf. Peterson leads off first base. Eberst to look over. Now comes set in the stretch. Soto looks to bunt. Pulls it back. The throw down to second as Peterson was off and running. Not in time. A stolen base there by Devin Peterson. As the Eagles leadoff man up to second base now. Pitch was taken for a ball. 1-0 the count to Justin Soto. Soto steps back in from the right side. 1 ball, no strikes. No outs, a runner in scoring position at second base. Eberst from the stretch gets the sign from the catcher, Damaris. Will come set and look back at second base. A 1-0 pitch. Soto hits it down the left field line. It's fair into left field. Devin Peterson around third. He'll score easily. Soto around first. He's headed to second. And the throw is up the line, and Justin Soto, an RBI double, and the Eagles score their first run of the ball game. Good piece of hitting there by your right fielder, Justin Soto.
Yeah, stand up RBI double, Wally. That's nice. Let's get it going.
Now here comes a visit from the coach of the Rangers from Fort Bend, Clements. We'll take a timeout while they do their visit. We'll bring it more back. It's going to be a pitching change for the Rangers. Georgetown cuts into the lead, 4-1. Fort Bend Clements leads it here in the bottom of the fourth. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. We're back there live at Eagle Field at Georgetown High School. We're still in the bottom of the fourth. Georgetown has gotten into the bullpen of the Clements Rangers into the ball game. Comes number 14, Jackson Knath. He'll take on Andrew Nations. The first pitch to Nations, swing and a miss, strike one. An RBI double for Justin Soto scores the first run of the ball game for your Eagles. 4-1 now. 0-1 the count to Andrew Nations. He's 1 for 1. Knath comes set from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch. Outside for ball one. Count evens up at 1-1. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Georgetown has responded to the 3 runs in the top of the inning with one of their own here. No outs and a runner at second. Andrew Nations back in from the left side. Knath comes set from the stretch. Now a timeout here by Nations to reset. 1 ball, 1 strike. No outs, the runner at second, Justin Soto. Scored Devin Peterson from second base on his RBI double down the left field line. Knath comes set. Look back at second base. The 1-1 pitch. Nope, throw back to second base. Soto gets back in there. Everyone will reset here. Soto lead off second base. Andrew Nations back in from the left side. Knath looks in and gets the sign from Damaris. Will come set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. Andrew Nations fouls it off himself, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now for the senior left fielder. No outs and a run across here in the bottom of the fourth. The runner at second. The Eagles trying to cut into this Ranger lead. 4-0 going into the inning. 4-1 now. After back-to-back base hits to chase the starter Eberst after 3+ innings. Knath comes set. The 1-2 pitch down in the turf. Ball 2 evens the count back at 2-2. I don't know if you see it, Dave, but I wonder if Soto's paying attention to it. If Knath is not going to throw to second base, he won't even look. He just comes straight home. I wonder if Soto will take that jump and take off. Knath back on the mound. The 2-2 count to Nations. He comes set from the stretch. Now he'll take a look. Now the 2-2 pitch. This one high and outside. Ball 3. A full count here for Andrew Nations.
Seems like that look over to second base kind of throws him off just a scotch. So it's hard to do. You know, you're focused on throwing over a plate, and you look back behind you. It's tough.
Now he comes set, peeks at second. The payoff pitch to Nations. Ground ball up the middle, base hit. That's going to score Soto from second base. And the Eagles are going to put up their second run of the inning and cut it in half. 4-2. Andrew Nations take a bow, baby. An RBI single. Now 2 for 2 in the ball game for the senior left fielder. And the Eagles are back in business here at Eagle Field.
That's beautiful. Just right up the middle. You love that.
Still no outs, and Cord Lawrence will come up as Andrew Nations. Beautiful piece of hitting there. Gets it to a full count, and then gets the RBI single into center field to score Soto. The Eagles 3 straight hits in the inning. An opportunity here for Cord Lawrence to keep it going. Lawrence steps in from the right side. He's 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Grounded out to the third baseman. Back of the second inning. Steps in here with no outs. A runner at first. The first pitch. Lawrence swinging. Sends it into right field. Is he going to get down? Nope. Stays on the line. Miller catches it. He's going to throw back behind Nations, but not in time as Andrew scrambles back. A nice shot there by Lawrence, but it hung up for the out. L9 in the book for out number 1.
That was so close to dropping.
So the first out of the inning for your Eagles. The runner still at first base, and in steps the pitcher, Colton Crutchfield. He's going to bat for himself here in the ninth as he replaced Kiki, or in the bottom of the fourth, as he replaced Kiki in the top of the inning. Crutchfield stands in. Nations off on the movement, and it's a pickoff. Nations will go down to second and steal the base. Parikh held on to it too long, and Andrew Nations gets a stolen base when it should have been in a pickle and picked it off. But a beautiful job there by Nations. Has the runner in scoring position now with 1 out.
That was great. That was impressive. Just really smart between the bases, these kids.
He just ran hard there, too. He just took the chance that he would avoid the pickle, and Andrew Nations does a good job there. Slides in safely, and now 1 out and a runner at second. The first pitch to Crutchfield. He takes it on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to count now to Colton Crutchfield. Crutchfield came on the pitch in the top of the fourth. Bats here in the bottom of the fourth. Oh, one pitch. Slow bender. Finally drops in there.
Arc in that one. That was funny.
That was like an outfielder in the major leagues throwing off the mound in a game, and now it's an 0-2 count to Crutchfield. A slow breaking ball dropped in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. Knath comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Crutchfield sends it down the right field line, but it's going to curl out of play. And Crutchfield will stay alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes. Nice job there by Crutchfield to battle here behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, the bottom of the fourth. The Eagles have responded with 2 of their own here in the bottom of the fourth to cut the lead in half for the Clements Rangers 4-2. 3 hits back to back to back. Have the Eagles in business. A runner at second. The 0-2 count now. Knath. A long pause here. And now he'll step off as Crutchfield calls for time. And he'll get it. Luke Holly waits on deck for the Eagles, the top of the Eagle lineup. Crutchfield back in from the right side. No balls and 2 strikes. 1 out. Here in the bottom of the fourth. Nations leads off second base. Knath comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Slow bender. Crutchfield hits it back towards shortstop. Fielded by Sigelski. He'll throw across the diamond in time to get Crutchfield. Nations will move up to third base. But now 2 outs in the inning for your Georgetown Eagles. And that'll bring up the top of the lineup. Number 6, Luke Holly, will step in with 2 outs and a runner at third.
Sure would like to see Luke jack a Texas leaguer right out there towards some of those sponsorship signs.
One of the scrimmages earlier before the tournament started this week, Luke had a double and a triple. You'd love to see a base hit here to cut it even more in the lead. He'll take the first pitch on the inside for ball 1. Holly 0 for 2 here in the ball game. Grounded out in the first, flew out to second in the third. Knath comes set. The 1-0 pitch to Holly. Luke takes it the top part of the zone for a called strike 1. Waiting for a ball call there. They called it strike 1. Evens out the count now. 1 ball, 1 strike to Luke Holly. Knath comes set. The 1-1 pitch. The big bender. Inside corner. Called strike 2. 2-1 now, or 1-2 now the count to Luke Holly. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth, or bottom of the fourth. Holly back in. Knath comes set. The 1-2 pitch. The big bender, Holly, fly ball into center field, right center field. The wind pushes it. The center fielder, Semino, over and make the catch for out number 3, and the Eagles are retired here in the bottom of the fourth. But not before they do some damage to even it out. They get 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. After 4 complete, Fort Bend Clements 4, Georgetown 2. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. Down to the top of the 5th inning. Crutchfield on to work his 2nd inning in relief. Will face off against the number 7, 8, 9 hitters. Dante Martinez steps in here. First pitch from Crutchfield on the bottom half of the zone for a called strike 1. Martinez 0 for 2 in the ball game. Flew out to right field in the 2nd inning and hit into an inning 4-6-3 double play in the 3rd. Steps in here 0 for 2. The 0-1 pitch. Outside corner called strike 2. Crutchfield works ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes to Martinez. Crutchfield from the stretch comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Way outside, ball 1. 1-2 now to Martinez. Crutchfield gets the sign, comes set in the stretch. The 1-2 pitch. Way outside, ball 2. Count evens up at 2-2 now. To Dante Martinez, the second baseman for the Rangers. Some activity down in the Ranger bullpen. Down the first base line. The 2-2 pitch. Base hit, or ball hit out towards second. Cord Lawrence backhand, the throw across in time. 4 out, number 1. Nice play there by Cord Lawrence. 4-3 on the put out to retire Martinez for the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Cash Talbot, this designated hitter. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, stole 2nd, scored a run. Got a single and stolen base in the 4th and came around to score the 2nd run. So Talbot steps in from the right side. The first pitch from Crutchfield, a swing and a miss, strike 1. 0-1 the count to the DH. Cash Talbot. Max Semino, the center fielder, on deck for the Rangers. The 0-1 pitch. Line drive hit out into center field. That'll fall for a base hit. So an 0-1 base hit single for the Rangers. Has a base runner aboard. That'll bring up Max Semino, number 22, the center fielder. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. Grounded out on a bunt attempt in the 2nd inning. Struck out looking in the 4th. 1 out, a runner at first here in the top of the 5th inning. 4-2. The Clements Rangers lead it by 2 over the Eagles. Semino squares the bunt again. And now it's an easy play there for Crutchfield. 1-3 on the put out. For out number 2. It moves the runner into scoring position at second base. So in all 3 at bats, the center fielder Max Semino in the number 9 hole of the lineup has attempted to bunt to get on. For the 2nd time out of 3, he's been unsuccessful. And now a 2 outs and a runner at second base. The leadoff hitter, Cooper Segelski, steps in here. He's 2 for 3 in the ball game. Crutchfield to look at second. The first pitch, Segelski takes it on the outside corner for strike 1. 0-1 the count here in the top of the 5th. 2 outs and a runner at second. The Clements Rangers, the Georgetown Eagles battling here. The Central Texas First Pitch Classic brought to you by B&N Sports, Raising Cane's, and Easton Sports. The 0-1 pitch skips in for ball 1. Now I got it right. I had it 1-0. It's a 1-1 count now. Is that one good block by Reese Seaman behind the plate to keep the runner at second base. Talbot will lead off second. Crutchfield, a long look in, will come set in the stretch. A look back at second base. The 1-1 pitch, low and into turf. Good block by Reese Seaman. Now the count, 2 balls and 1 strike to the number 1 hitter in the Ranger lineup, Cooper Segelski. Little visit from the shortstop, Luke Colley.
Must have seen something. He's telling them something that he sees, or maybe they're coming up with a plan for this runner on second base.
Holly back to the shortstop's spot. Crutchfield back on the mound to look in and gets the sign from the catcher, Reese Seaman. Crutchfield will come set. A look back at second base. The 2-1 pitch. Ground ball hit down the third baseline, but pulled foul. And Leininger over to get it there. Now the count full at, or even at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cooper Segelski. Struck out in the first inning, singled and left stranded in the 2nd, singled and scored a run, an RBI single and a run scored in the 4th inning for the shortstop, Cooper Segelski. Segelski back in for the right side. Crutchfield a long look in. Gets the sign and comes set. A look at second base. The 2-2 pitch. Ball hit into right center field. On the run is Soto. He's going to have to let it bounce. He'll come up with it, make the throw home. But that'll be cut off by Herrera. Another RBI single by Cooper Segelski. His third hit of the ball game, and the Clements Rangers tack back onto their lead, 5-2 now here at the top of the fifth. A runner on first with 2 outs. And in steps Stefano Damaris, the catcher. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. A ground out, a fly out. Reached on a base on balls and scored a run in the fourth. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner on first. 5-2. Clements leads it over Georgetown. Crutchfield comes set. The first pitch. A ball off the end of the bat, hit down the first baseline, but curls foul.
You know, it's not district. It doesn't get us to the playoffs, but these games do a lot for the playoffs, and we see some really high-quality competition. We're not, not to discount district, but we're seeing some 6A programs here that are really good programs, and they've got some good ball players. And this is really good down the stretch for Georgetown's program.
Crutchfield comes set. The 0-1 pitch down in the turf, blocked by Seaman. The count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. And exactly why Coach Vieira does this every year for this first pitch classic. Schedule the tough opponents. The Heath Hawks are always good. Corpus Christi Carroll, generally a good team. Lubbock Monterey, a good team. San Antonio Johnson, preseason number 4 in 6A baseball. Little Elm, a good baseball team. So the Eagles will see a lot of good teams here. And now Seaman tries to throw down behind the runner Segelski, but he throws it into right field. But luckily, Segelski was scrambling back and still laid on the turf. Mm-hmm. And so a break there for the Eagles. 2-1 to count as that one missed down and low. So Crutchfield behind in the count to Damaris here. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 pitch. Segelski off and running. Seaman's throw down, not in time. Stolen base for Segelski. Puts another runner in scoring position for the Rangers. And the ball there makes it a 3-1 count to Damaris. Mitchell Taylor, the left fielder, on deck. Crutchfield comes set, a look back at second base. The 3-1 pitch in there for a called strike, and now a full count with 2 outs. Here in the top of the fifth, the Eagles would like to get out of here with no more damage done. Trailing by 3. Crutchfield, a long look in, gets a sign from Seaman behind the plate. A look back at second base. Turn towards second. No throw there as Holly was covering. And we'll all reset here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A runner at second base. Here in the top of the fifth. One run across in the inning. The man in scoring position. Damaris back in for the right side. Crutchfield comes set. A look at second. The payoff pitch. Ground ball hit out to short. High hop. Cut off there by Leininger. The throw across the diamond. Herrera can't scoop it. And another error on the Eagle defense. Pass runners on the corners. And so the Achilles heel of this Eagles defense here in this first 3 games is errors. That's the story here. We'll talk to Coach Vieira here after the game. Not on the broadcast, but we always go visit with Coach V. And I think it's going to be clean baseball. We've got to clean some things up.
Sure, yeah. And this is, again, we go back to the quality opponents we're playing too. This is like what we could see in the playoffs. I mean, these 6A teams they're no joke. They're really well disciplined, well coached, and we are very well coached too. So it's a good head-to-head, tournament of a lot of really good teams. So it's fun to see Georgetown playing at this high level.
First pitch called strike 1, but Seaman couldn't handle it behind the plate.
They're learning a lot too. They're getting all of the cobwebs out, and the coaches are seeing some things too that they just can't emulate in practice. Right? They're getting, maybe this is helping them with their lineup for the year and sorting out some things as a coaching staff as well.
Mitchell Taylor steps back in, 0-1 the count. Stolen base there by Damaris, no throw down. The 0-1 pitch right back up the middle into center field. It's going to score at least 1. Here comes the second run. Richie's throw will be cut off at the mound. And an RBI, 2 RBI single by Mitchell Taylor. And the Eagle defense, the errors cost you runs. That will cost them 2 more. Every base you give them, these teams that we play are good enough to take advantage of them. And now the Eagles trail by 5, 7-2. Good piece of hitting by Mitchell Taylor there.
And you're not seeing a visit from Coach Payne. You're letting him be out there and work this out.
Throw over to first base as Taylor gets back. 3 runs across on 3 hits here in the inning.
Because this pitcher knows he's got 2 outs. Get this guy out at the plate. And that's all probably that Coach Payne would say if he came up to him,
Fletcher Garcia up to bat as another throw over here from Crutchfield to Herrera. A runner at first, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, 7-2 the score. Fletcher Garcia awaits. The first pitch is low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Fletcher Garcia hit by a pitch in the first, reaching an error in the third. Grounded out in the 4th. He's 0 for 2. 0 for 3 in the ball game. 0 for 2 in the ball game. The 0-1 pitch misses inside. The 1-0 pitch. I apologize. Now 2-0. To Fletcher Garcia with a Ralph Parikh on deck. The big first baseman waits his turn. If Garcia can extend the inning for the Rangers. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The runner at first. The 2-0. Runner is off. Seaman will throw down. It'll skip into Holly. The tag is applied. And a caught stealing to end the inning by Seaman to Holly. 2-6 on the caught stealing for out number 3. And the top of the 5th comes to an end. But not before the Rangers pick up 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and no runners left on base. After 4.5 innings, the Rangers 7, the Eagles 2. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. To the bottom of the 5th inning. Jackson Knapp on to work for the 2nd inning in relief for the Rangers. And he'll face off against the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Eagles. Tate Ritchie steps in, first pitch swinging, and hits a smoke shot right by the third baseman, Garcia, into left field for a leadoff base hit. Nice piece of hitting there by the junior center fielder, Tate Ritchie.
You got to love that aggressiveness, Wally. Let's go. We're down by 5. Let's get it, boys. Let's get some runs plated here.
Like to see Riley Leininger light himself up here. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. Was hit by a pitch in the first, reach on an error in the third. Ritchie leads off first. The pitch from Knapp to Leininger will come after this throw over as Ritchie dives back in safely. 1 pitch and a runner on base for the Eagles here in the bottom of the 5th. Tate Ritchie, a leadoff single. Leininger from the left side steps in. Another throw over. Ritchie dives back in safely. Leininger, the senior third baseman, back in from the left side. Reese Herrera waits on deck. Ritchie leads off first. Knapp comes set in the stretch. First pitch to Leininger. High fly ball right side of the infield. And a good job there by the first baseman, Parikh. to stay with it, moving in the wind. The Lighter went up there to that first pitch and popped out for the first inning, out of the inning. Pop P3 in the book. And that'll bring up Reese Herrera with one out. Here in the bottom of the fifth, Herrera steps in. He's 0 for 2 in the ball game. A fly out and a ground out. First pitch from Knapp. Herrera takes it for a called strike. 0-1 to count. Knapp comes set. Throw over to first base again. On deck, the catcher, Reese Seaman. He's 1 for 2 in the ball game as he waits behind Herrera. One out here in the bottom of the fifth. The 0-1 pitch. Stayed up and in, almost hit Herrera.
He held his ground. He was hoping for a little.
1-1 now the count to Reese Herrera with one out. Base runner at first base here in the bottom of the fifth, down by 5. The 1-1 pitch. Herrera hits it down the left field line but pulls it foul into foul territory. Now behind the bat, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tate Ritchie leads off first base, being held on there by Parikh. Knapp comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Big bender, and Herrera out in front of it, rips it foul. Stays alive in the at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Knapp a look at first. Now comes set as Ritchie leads off. The 1-2 pitch. Herrera chases it down and in the turf. Strikeout there for out number 2. Maybe the slowest breaking ball I've ever seen throw at the varsity level in baseball. But it worked for a strikeout, the first of the ball game for Knapp. 2 outs here in the inning. As Reese Seaman steps in from the left side, throw over to first base. And Tate Ritchie doesn't have very big of a lead, but Knapp has thrown over 5 or 6 times now to keep him close at first base. Reese Seaman steps in, a strikeout in the second, a single and a run scored in the fourth. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner on first. The first pitch from Knapp, ground ball hit to first, but it's into foul territory. So it would be an 0-1 count to the catcher, Reese Seaman. We'll see if any changes come in here for the Eagle pitching staff. If Crutchfield will stay in the game, if someone else will come in the top of the 6th inning. No bullpen to be seen here as they have it a closed cage bullpen. Seaman takes this one for called strike 2. 0-2 now the count to the catcher. Justin Soto on deck for the Eagles. Knapp comes set. The 0-2 pitch. Seaman ground ball pulled foul down the first baseline. Stays alive in the at-bat. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth. The Eagles are chasing 5. The Rangers 1 in the second, 3 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. The 0-2 pitch to Seaman. Way outside, ball 1.
Appreciate that.
1-2.
Let's get some little two out rally here, Georgetown. We love those 2-out rallies.
Ritchie leads off. Parikh holds him on. The 1-2 pitch. Seaman chases it up and away for a swing and a miss. Strike 3. The Eagles are down here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No runs on 1 hit. No errors and 1 runner left on base after 5 complete innings. Clements 7, Eagles 2. Eagle baseball continues in a moment. back live here at Eagle Field. We go to the top of the 6th inning. The Fort Bend Clements Rangers lead it 7-2 over your Georgetown Eagles. Fletcher Garcia steps back in to start the inning against Colton Crutchfield. First pitch swinging. Ground ball up the middle. Luke Holly is off his glove on a diving stop to keep it from the outfield. But a leadoff single has Garcia aboard for the Rangers. So, top of the 6th, another runner on board as Parikh steps up. He's 0 for 0 in the ballgame. Was hit by a pitch in the 1st and the 3rd and walked in the 4th. Has been stranded on base every inning. Steps in here with no outs and a runner at first base. Crutchfield from the stretch, a throw over to first base. Fletcher Garcia leads off, held on by Reese Herrera. Crutchfield gets the sign and comes set in the stretch. The first pitch to Parikh in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Arav Parikh, the first baseman. A lot to win down on the field. Coming out of the left to the right. Another throw to first base. Garcia not about 3 steps off, but a lot of throwovers here in both of these teams and not a lot of big leads being taken.
Right.
They're trying to do their best to keep runners close.
Keeping them honest.
Crutchfield comes set. Another throw over. Garcia dives back in safely. He'll lead back off first. No balls, 1 strike to count to Parikh. Crutchfield comes set in the stretch. The 0-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Crutchfield ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes to the first baseman, Arav Parikh. Logan Miller, Dante Martinez wait on deck. Here in the top of the 6th for the Rangers. Another throw over to first. Garcia dives back in. Crutchfield will look in, get the sign from the catcher, Seaman. Comes set in the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. A line drive hit out into left center field. A long run for Tate Ritchie, and he won't make it there. He'll field it on the back end. Now can't get it. It's almost to the wall. And here comes Garcia to score easily all the way from first base. And a stand-up double for Parikh. And the lead up to 6 now.
Well, is that going to be considered an error? He bobbled that and didn't field it correctly.
They'll give it a base hit as it hit the ground first, but Parikh, a nice piece of hitting there. It was 0 for 0 coming into the at-bat. And been on base all 3 times and makes it 4 there with an RBI.
Substitute runner.
They bring in someone here. It's going to be a substitute. It can't be a courtesy runner. He's only the first baseman. But a big RBI for Parikh.
Number 16 for the Rangers.
That'll bring in Paul Aguirre. Come on as a pinch runner. Will come in to pinch run for Arav Parikh. The RBI double expands the lead for the Rangers up to 6, 8-2. Crutchfield back on the rubber here. No outs and a runner at second. In steps Logan Miller. He's 0 for 3. Crutchfield's first pitch. Misses outside, ball 1. 1-0 the count to Logan Miller. Dante Martinez on deck for the Rangers. Crutchfield comes set in the stretch. The 1-0 pitch. Fly ball hit into shallow right field. Cord Lawrence ranges over and makes the catch about 5 feet onto the grass for out number 1. So P4 in the book to record the out of Logan Miller for out number 1. Aguirre, the pinch runner at second, stayed on the base, and in steps Dante Martinez, the second baseman, who's 0 for 3 as well. Crutchfield, the first pitch to Martinez, skips in. Seaman tries to block it, but that wild pitch will advance the runner up 90 feet away now. 1-0 the count to Martinez. Just one out here in the top of the 6th. Cash Talbot, the DH, waits on deck for the Rangers. Martinez back in. The first pitch, or the 1-0 pitch, fouled off. Back out of play down the first baseline. 1-1 now the count to Dante Martinez. Crutchfield looks in and gets the pitch. Comes set in the stretch. The 1-1 pitch on the inside corner, called strike 2. 1-2 now the count to Dante Martinez. Crutchfield comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Ground ball hit out towards second. Cord Lawrence will field it. Herrera was out trying to field it as well. That'll score a run for the Rangers. 9-2, they lead it. It would have scored it on the base hit or even on a ground out, but Herrera had committed too far to the hole and didn't get back to the base, but then Crutchfield didn't cover off the mound. So a costly mistake there. Doesn't go down as an error in the book against your Eagles. Yes, it does. It just went on the board as an error. So they will rule it an error up on the board. So Martinez reaches on the error. Gets the RBI as it scores the run. So now the runner at first. One out here in the top of the 6th. 9-2. 7-run lead for the Rangers. Cash Talbot steps in. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Throw over to first base. Not in time. Martinez easily back there. Head first slide. Crutchfield comes set. The first pitch to Talbot just misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to the number 8 hitting designated hitter, Cash Talbot. On deck, Max Semino. The 1-0 pitch. Outside corner. Called strike 1. No one covering the stealer. A delayed steal there by Dante Martinez. A throw down from Seaman, but no one covering for the throw.
It was kind of strange. He was just kind of jogging, too. He wasn't even running really fast, and still we didn't have anybody covering, so it's strange. I don't know what's going on here.
1-1 the count. The Cash Talbot runner now at second base with 1 out. Crutchfield, the 1-1 pitch. Misses up and away for ball 2. 2-1 now the count to Cash Talbot. Crutchfield to look in, gets the sign and comes set. The 2-1 pitch. The ground ball hit out to second. Cord Lawrence fields it on a hop, drops it, picks it up, throws to first in time. To retire Talbot out at first. 4-3 on the putout for out number 2. That'll maneuver Martinez up to third base. So a runner on third base now with 2 outs in the inning. Brings up the number 9 hitter, Max Semino. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. 2 ground outs and a strikeout looking. Steps in here with 2 outs and a runner on third. Expect the bunt here. He's tried to bunt in all 3 at bats. The first one, pitch is up and in, and that's hit Semino on the helmet. He'll jog down to first base on the hit by pitch. So now runners on the corners with 2 outs. 6th batter hit by Eagle pitching today here in this ball game. 5 by Jack Kiki, 1 now by Crutchfield. In steps the leadoff batter, Cooper Segelski. Not what we wanted. He's 3 for 4 with multiple RBIs in the ball game. Off and running is Semino. He'll get the base without a throw with the runner down at third base. So now runners at second and third.
Yeah, you just can't you can't throw that to second base right there. Just not an option.
1-0 the count. 1-0 pitch. Low and away, ball 2. 2-0 the count now.
Need to tighten it up and don't have a wild pitch right here.
Segelski back in for the right side. Crutchfield comes set. The 2-0 pitch.
Good.
Up over his head for ball 3.
All right.
So 3-0 the count to Cooper Sigelski. Stefano Demiris, the catcher, on deck for the Rangers. Crutchfield comes set. The 3-0 pitch right down Main Street for a called strike. 3-1. You almost think you would like to see that out of every pitch thrown by the Eagles and just make the ball be put in play.
Keep it simple.
3-1 now the count. Sigelski, the 3-1 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 2. So pick back up the bat, head back to the box. Tate Ritchie knows how that felt. That happened to him in his couple of innings ago. And now a full count here with 2 outs and runners on second and third. Crutchfield comes set. Sigelski ready. The payoff pitch. Line drive hit out over the head of Cord Lawrence. And Soto misses it. It'll be a base hit with an error. And that'll score both runners for the Rangers. 11-2 the lead. A runner into second base on the error. But an RBI single for Sigelski, which I said you did not want. He's 3 for 4 with three RBIs and 2 runs scored. Well, he gets another RBI single, advances on the error by Soto as he doesn't field the ball cleanly in right field. And both runners score, Martinez and Semino. First pitch to Stefano Demiris is called a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. 3 runs across in the inning. This pitch, base hit into right hit field. They're going to send the runner from second. Soto up with it. His throw is cut off. The throw relay home is not in time. And it's now 12-2. A base hit by Stefano Demiris. An RBI single. Scores Sigelski all the way from second base. And now in steps Mitchell Taylor, the left fielder. And here comes Coach Jordan Vieira. Looks like another call to the bullpen. We'll take it with him. Eagle Baseball continues in a moment. Back here at Eagle Field, on to pitch for the Georgetown Eagles. He'll move from second base to the mound. Will be Cord Lawrence.
We were ready. Blue wasn't.
5'9", 155-pound senior. Throws right-handed. Comes in to pitch. First pitch, ground ball up the middle. Kiki now at second. Pitches it to Holly at second base to record the out of Damaris and get the Eagles out of the inning. So what an at-bat there for Cord Lawrence. One pitch, one out. And after 9 hitters bat in the 6th inning for the Rangers, we go to the bottom of the 6th. The Eagles trail by 10, 12-2 to the Clements Rangers. We'll take a timeout. Eagle Baseball will continue in just a moment. Back here live at Eagle Field, we go to the bottom of the 6th. Justin Soto on to bat for the Eagles. He's 1 for 1 in the ball game. Hit by a pitch and had a double. Takes the first pitch from Knapp on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 the count. Jackson Knapp on for his 3rd inning of work. The 0-1 pitch to Soto off the end of the plate. And an appeal down to first. Said he did not go. Soto even out the count at 1-1. If you happen to be in the Temple area tonight at 7 p.m., the Georgetown Eagles in the area round of the playoffs in basketball. And Soto sends this one into right center field, and it will be caught. What a play there by Samino. He runs it down and makes a sliding catch for out number 1. L8 in the book to record the out of Justin Soto for the first out of the inning.
Andrew Nations.
And I hit something wrong. Let me get out of that screen. That'll be the first out of the inning, and now that'll bring up Andrew Nations, the left fielder. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game. Takes the first pitch up and away for ball 1. The Eagles will play Waco University at Temple High School tonight at 7 p.m. to try to advance in the playoffs. Andrew Nations grounds back to the pitcher. Knapp will field it, run and pitch it over to the new first baseman, number 16. Paul Aguirre, who stayed into the ball game after he pinch ran. It's going to be 1-3 on the putout to record the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up your pitcher, number 4, Cord Lawrence. No, it will not. It'll bring up a pinch hitter here.
Batting for the Eagles,
Number 7, Hayden Grooms will come in to hit here in the 6th inning. So Hayden Grooms will pinch hit for Cord Lawrence. The 5'10", 180-pound junior steps in from the right side. Pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 6th inning. So Jackson Knapp stays on the mound. First pitch to Grooms. Ball lined out into center field, and it's going to fall in front of Samino for a 2-out single. Nice piece of hitting there by Grooms.
He got some fresh bats that have been sitting in the dugout, kind of anxious to get in there and get a little payback on these Rangers for this 10-point deficit.
So now Jack Kiki comes up to bat. He re-entered the ball game at second base as he came out off the mound earlier, but he re-enters in the number 9 hole where Crutchfield was.
Looks like the official behind the plate gave a warning of some type to the
Great play there by Martinez. The backhanded on the slide. Pitch to Sigelski for the 3rd out of the inning. The Eagles go quietly here in the bottom of the 6th, and that will be the ball game. The Eagles are run ruled 12-2 here in 6 innings by the Fort Bend Clements Rangers. The ball game has come to an end. We'll take a quick timeout. We come back. We'll give you some final numbers and sign off until the ball game tonight. Stay with us. Eagle Baseball continues in a moment.
We'll leave it up.
We're back here live at Eagle Field. The Georgetown Eagles run ruled by the Clements Rangers 12-2 here in game number 1 of day 2 of this First Pitch Classic, brought to you by B&N Sports, Easton Sports, and Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, live here at Eagle Field. The Eagles are run ruled 12-2, and it's a lot of things can be learned from a game like this, and a lot of things will be learned. And this is where Coach Vieira puts his stamp on why he does this. Play the best to be the best. And every time when they go through their 3 tournaments in the year, this one and then on the road the next 2 weekends, it makes this team that much better when it comes time for district and to prepare for the playoffs. The Heath Hawks do the same thing out of Rockwell ISD, talking to their play-by-play man, Shannon. They do the same thing. You play the best to be the best. You prepare yourself. And a tough outing here. A well-versed Clements baseball team. They put up timely hits. They moved runners around, and they take advantage of the mistakes. And when the Eagles put up 5 errors again here in this ball game, the errors, free bases, cost you in the long run.
Yeah, taking advantage of the mistakes, and there was not only errors, but there was hit by pitch. And we gave up plenty of bases just by hitting the batters, and that's just, those are the kind of mistakes that when you get to the Dell Diamond, you cannot do that. You have to play perfect baseball. And so you're exactly right, Wally. This is a great opportunity. There's going to be so much that Coach Jordan Vieira can talk to the boys about this afternoon before we head on to our 7 o'clock game. And this is why you're exactly right. This is why you do this. You're out here getting these kids some experience, getting the cobwebs off. They've been playing for a long time, but it's the first games of the season, and thank goodness you're doing this before you head into district, because this makes us even that much stronger and more powerful in district. And these games, these opponents that we're seeing is kind of pictures what we're going to see in the playoffs and first few rounds of the playoffs. So as you get deeper in the playoffs, it gets even more challenging. But it's preparing these young juniors, which you said a lot of the juniors were played today, and so it's smart. You hate losing, but so many opportunities for learning that were happening today, and the kids maybe, hey, it's good to lose. It humbles you and realize, okay, I'm not as good. I need to work on some things. Each person out there on the field today can think of all the things that he can do to improve. So, and I'm sure that's going to be the message from Coach Vieira. So, it's what can we do to improve? Let's clean it up, and we'll see y'all this evening.
12 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Clements Rangers. 2 runs, 6 hits, 6 errors for your Georgetown Eagles here in this ball game. And if you look back on it, multiple errors in multiple games will cost this team all year long. And ever since you know that Coach Vieira focuses on is clean defensive play and errors there, 11 in the last 2 ball games and 2 losses to go with it. So the Eagles fall 1-2 in their record, 1 win on the year, 2 losses, and they'll come back at 7 p.m. to take on the Corpus Christi Carroll Tigers live here at Eagle Field. We'll be live 6:45 on the pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. Join us live here at Eagle Field. Come out and enjoy some baseball. Right now, the Hawks of Heath High School get ready to play into their second game of the day. This will be another good baseball game. But if you can't make it out here tonight, we'll have it live on the SHN Sports Network. First Responder Broadcasting brings you all things Georgetown Eagle baseball. Thanks for joining us tonight. During the baseball game, we will bring you live updates from the basketball game in Temple. I will be texting quite often with the head coach's wife, Ashley Canfield, to update the basketball game. So if you can't be there for that, you can't be for that, we'll at least keep them both updated as we bring you Eagle baseball here live on the SHN Sports Network.
And the advice from Doppler Day for tonight's forecast for the game, at the first pitch is going to be 64 degrees. So bring a sweater, bring a light jacket or a blanket if you like. But we'd love for you to tune in and you know, have a lot of viewership and stuff like that. But we would much rather have a packed clamshell. We've got plenty of room for 1,200 people here at the stadium. So come on out.
7 p.m. is the first pitch for that game. All these games are staying on time with these schools. So 6:45, we'll have the pregame, 7 o'clock first pitch. Come join us live here on the SHN Sports Network. We bring you all things Georgetown Eagle baseball. Thanks for joining us. Have a good afternoon. We'll see you tonight. The Eagles will play the Corpus Christi Carroll Tigers at 7 p.m. Remember, doesn't cost you a dime to be kind. Have a good afternoon.